Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, Talk Tuesday. We are here. Hey, Mesh, can we not? We're at the straight road. We're cruising along. Cosmo, out. Thank you. For those who like head count, we've got 13 today. Who do we have? We've got Archie, Stella, Maggie, Cosmo, Kronk, Luna, and Tucker. Bailey, Hamish, Iskra, Newton, Rosa, let's go! Nova, and Arosa. Hamish McBean. Thank you. He's like, nothing. I don't know what you were talking about, lady. He's being Casanova today. So he's getting all up in girls' business, which they don't appreciate. Oh, sorry, I was pointing you at trees. We have a puppy poop situation. Oh, do we? Oh, yes, we do. Let me just mark it because there's no way I'm going to find that if we leave this spot. Oh God, sorry guys. Can I do it one-handed? We'll try. Nice to get to see what the dogs do when I hold still for a minute. No, you can't see Tucker, but he's like, what the heck are you people doing? Okay, sorry for the crinkling. Sorry for the crinkling. Oh God, I hope that was pointed at dogs. Okay, not gonna tie off, but at least it's up. Usually I just drop usually I drop one of the bags because they're neon so I can find it, but in this case the ground is kind of like spotted with black. So I probably would not have noticed it again on the way back, even if I dropped a marker. Okay, so let's continue on our way. As you can see, Iskra is attached to me and she's close, and I'm just going to keep doing that while I film videos because she's a two-hand job when she's off because we're still working on quite a few things with her. It's been kind of a crazy couple weeks, so I haven't been able to give it the attention that I really wanted to. And I have a Newton attached to me because he was being a bit weird. I think I talked about that in a previous Talk Tuesday, where the obedience is great. Like, he recalls on a dime and all that jazz. But our life choices, so the behavior part, is not so great. So we tried a couple things, and then I just decided to try a factory reset, which means we start all the way back at the beginning, and see how that goes. And last week it was a little rocky. Oh, okay. Here I can drop a marker because I'm definitely going to find. The beauty of snow is that it's so easy to find the poops. Fall is like the worst time. Well, not when the colors are there, and even when the colors are there, but when the leaves turn brown on the ground, like, it's nearly impossible to find anything. Anyway, the poop conversations you have with me, you're welcome. So, I did want to talk a little bit about backsliding. Like, it happens. It can happen in puppies. It can happen in older dogs. It can happen no matter what. Usually something changed to throw them off. Now, sometimes it's pretty easy to tell. Like, for example, you don't have a reactive dog. Your dog gets attacked. Well, now you have a reactive dog, right? Like, that's pretty easy to figure out. But sometimes it can be the smallest of things that really sort of shakes their confidence. So it's why, like, in my puppy program and my 6-week training program, we talk about building confidence, because it does help a lot of problems. And while you're building confidence with your dog, generally speaking, you're also building your bond, which is very important. Because, like, if you're just a Pez dispenser for food and a toy when you feel like it, like, your dog is probably not going to do all the things that you would like them to do. So it's something to think about, certainly. Anyway, like in Newton's case, we can't figure out what it is. The sort of behavior switch that I see typically is in, like, dogs that all of a sudden are going to dog daycare, or they had an incident at a dog park, or they just had something happen while they were with a human to make them be like, oh, well, I don't have to follow the rules anymore. The rules don't keep me safe. Go. So why would I listen? Like, why would I listen to this person? And it's sort of one of the challenges when you're walking dogs. And it's one of the reasons, like, I don't take a lot of dogs 1 day a week. Like, even in this pet, and you're just behind me, aren't you? Where's Nova? Nova in front! Rosa's like me too. My golden girls. So funny. Something about Goldens is when they get tired, all of a sudden I'm surrounded by Goldens. Like, they just put themselves in a heel and call it a day. Anyways, so, like, you'll notice I have Rosa 1 day a week. Now, she did go through her first, I'd say, month or so, being 4 days a week, so that we got the training in there. And then we reduced her walks and she could handle it. So I was like, that's fine. Some dogs can't handle it, right? Like, some dogs, 1 day a week is not long enough to maintain the sort of relationship we need to have like a nice, I was about to say calm, but Stella's on a rip. A nice, Archibald, that was rude. Do not, sir. Okay. Hey, Mish, leave it alone. Sit down. No. Dial it down or be dialed, kid. Let's go. So that's another one that we're doing some work on. Now, he doesn't need to do the leash work because, as you can see, he listens well enough. And he also doesn't make, like, the same just really bad life choices. And by that I mean, like, instigating the other dogs, actively trying to get them going, actively harassing the dogs that he knows would turn around and tell him off. And don't get me wrong, like, a dog telling another dog off, it happens, right? And it can be scary if you don't know what's going on, because obviously dogs don't communicate the same way we do, right? Like, they're very physical in their communication. They're very loud. At least they should be. If it's a quiet scenario, that's generally bad news bears. But if it's loud, then they're having a conversation, right? Oh, Stella's full of beans today. Usually she waits until the way back. Sorry, I'm just going to get off the ice here. Right, so with Newton, like, I tried a couple of my usual things. And again, obedience was there, and obedience is not the problem. So shaping behavior is a little bit different, and trying to get it back to where it was as challenging, and it can be challenging depending on the dog. Particularly if it's a very smart dog. Like, it basically just feels like you're in an exhausting battle of wills. Now, he's doing much better this week than he was last, which is good. And also a part of the training, it's one thing to, like, distract and whatever, but if you're trying to make a consistent change, like, especially when you're talking about reactivity, distraction just doesn't work. Not sustainably, not when you're constantly bombarded by triggers. Like, it's just not, it's not a thing. But teaching them to make those solid life choices, which is what we're doing here, right? See, even there, he goes to get in front of me and he rethinks. New tin. Good. And also just having him pay more attention to me as a handler is important. See, here we're starting to make bad life choices. No. And so we, in response, and I can't show you because it's like down beside me, but in response, he loses slack, right? So without saying anything, I will mark his bad life choice by like a no, or saying his name in like a disappointed tone, because yes, tone does work on animals. And then I'll just shorten the leash and that's it. That's the end. That's the correction. And then I'll walk like this for a little bit. It's kind of awkward because I'm filming right now. And then we'll try again. And it's the try again part that's so hard, especially when you're dealing, Bailey. Sorry. When you're dealing with reactivity and things like that, like having the trust to let your dog try again, is so hard. And if you're not there yet, you're not there yet. Don't worry about it. But it is something to strive for, because if you're just constantly, like, if you're constantly correcting a dog for being reactive, but you're not offering them the opportunity to make that right choice, and you're not marking that right choice. So just as important as marking when they're doing something undesirable with like an or a no or whatever, is as soon as they've switched away from the thing that you're telling them that's bad into a good behavior, like if they look at you, talk about bad life choices. Kronk, that's enough. Archie, you know better. Thank you. So a lot of people, you'll see, they'll just offer the correction. And then once their dog stops doing what it is, silence. Well, your dog isn't exactly encouraged to do work for you in that scenario, right? Kronk, that's enough. Thank you. Anyway, sorry, this was more of a babble. I meant to talk mostly about like if you have to do a reset, and some of that was in fact what that is. So I will give some like just tips if that. Okay, out. Bailey, Hamish, you are absolutely not digging in that mud puddle. Hamish. It's like, you don't know. Could be a thing. Could be fun. Yeah, so simple things that you can change, or questions you can ask yourself if your dog needs a bit of a reset, right? Is like, A, are they listening to you? Do you have to repeat yourself? Do you have to constantly enforce your commands? Then if that's the case, you may want to just have a look at your daily routine and switch some things up, right? And especially if there's a big behavior shift, like in Newton's case, he went from being sort of Kronk, out. Thank you. Archibald, you're 20 seconds away from being in the parade. He's like, you don't know. I do, in fact, know, my kid. Thank you. That's fine. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. So have a look at like the rest. Does your dog bolt out the door as soon as you open the door? Like all these things. You're about to see the zoomy of the walk. There we go. Like, and different things for different dogs, right? So some dogs with very little encouragement from us are just good canine citizens. This is the exception and not the rule. Good choice, Bailey. Hamish, Make the Bailey choice. It's just not a thing I'd ever thought I'd say. Iskra, it's not your play, honey. Good girl. Yeah, so switching up some simple things like working on threshold training. And a lot of times it might seem strange or unnecessary. And you're like, well, how does threshold training... Hamish! No! Get a move on. Go on. No, Iskra, you're still attached to me, my love. How are these like little things that seem very unrelated to everything else, how are they going to help my problem? But things like threshold training, place training, doing more place than cuddle time, kennel training, all of these things sort of layer in to like make it very clear and teach them certain things, right? Like a kennel is not only for your dog's safety, especially when they're a puppy. Can it be hard? Heck yeah. Like with Rowan, oh my goodness, the lungs on that kid. And like for a good week and a half, he made sure that we understood that he was very displeased. And that's fine. But the reality is there's no way in hell I'm leaving a 8-week-old puppy loose without supervision. Like, that's not happening, not ever, for any reason. And even my older dogs, like, including the boarders in my home, there's no way I would leave them unattended, loose in the house. It's great if they're perfect at home, that's nice. My house is not their home. And I never, ever, ever in my life want to make the call that like, hey, your dog has eaten a bottle of Tylenol. Bailey! Or, hey, your dog has destroyed my door frame or my couch. I'm going to need you to pay for that. When I can just easily kennel train the dog. You know what I mean? But in addition to keeping them safe, it also teaches them to have an off switch, which is important when you have a dog. Okay, so right here, you can see Rosa's not sure about this terrier thing. And Hamish is in a mood where he thinks he's, yeah. Kronk, out! That was not your play, kid. He's like, well, Mom, I know you want to break it up. Thank you, let's go. And you can tell that Hamish is in a mood because Nova is playing with Maggie and not with Hamish. So, and he is trying to make up his mind. Good life choice, buddy. And there we go. He sees that. As I was saying, like dogs don't really come with an off switch, and there are breeds of dog that for sure come with the anti-off switch. Like shepherds of all kinds. Any herding breed, any sport breed, generally speaking, you need to teach them chill. They don't teach themselves that. And that's because they're bred to be up from sunup to sundown and working, right? So if you're in a city and not offering the same sort of environment, a really important thing you need to teach your dogs is to calm the hell down. Like, we're in the house, I'm working from home, we're in the house, it's nap time, right? With Rowan, the rules are if he wants to play with Kronk, that's great, it's outside in the back. If you're inside, there's no wrestling or anything like that. Understanding how big he's going to get when he's older, I don't want to teach him when he's teeny that it's okay for them to Thunderdome my house. Like, that's just a bad notion. And then outside, I still shape the play, right? Like, I still make sure it's even. I still make sure everyone's having a good time. Because the last thing I want is for Kronk to not like his brother. And that being said, like, we still get couch time, right? But just as important is working on that. Luna, not your play. You know better. Sorry, Luna is the phone police. Oh my God, we're almost at 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to stop talking. Sorry, this is so long, guys. As per usual, if you have any questions about this or any other video, you know what to do. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having an amazing day. If you have a minute to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.